You must not avert your eyes. This is what is coming at us. Do not avert your eyes.
All right, let's go. Fuck, I fucked myself. I fucked myself out the gate.
You know, I think a lot of people would pay a lot of money to see that.
We've gone completely off the rails and we haven't even started yet.
Are there ever any rails?
No, there's never been any rails.
So anyway, have you heard from Dustin at all? I'm starting to worry. It's been a minute.
No, I was kind of hoping you had. Do you think he's in hell again? Did he ride the Pissavator?
Hey, what's up, guys?
Holy shit, you're still alive.
Yeah, what's happening?
Oh,
are we going to talk about Turkish Star Wars or what?
No, we already talked about Turkish Star Wars.
Yeah, about, oh God, forever ago. Don't you remember the alien parasite burst out of your being and then you hemorrhaged into a puddle?
Doesn't ring a bell.
Okay, so we're gonna have to chalk that up to a Sigma brain side effect. Yeah, man, we haven't heard of you since Trump became president.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I mean, Trump became president. Elon Musk has accessed the national treasury and has canceled USAID funding to democracies across Europe and is trying to put the treasury on the blockchain. Trump put in an executive order to try and disband the Board of Education. He fired the entire CEA. He just fired the CIA. Put a ban on hiring. He fired the head of the FAA, and we had our first domestic air disaster in almost 30 years in this country, and we actually had 4 of them in 2 weeks.
Wait, did you say 2 weeks?
Yeah, he's been president for 2 weeks.
All of this shit happened in 2 weeks?
Well, roughly.
Jeez. So I woke up in an alley and I think things might have been better off there, honestly.
That checks out. Yeah.
Yeah, we started talking about Turkish Star Wars. Then I woke up in an alley and I was covered with scratches. And now you're telling me that Elon Musk is running some shadow government. Is that right?
That pretty much sums it
What
up.
the fuck? I'm going back to the alley.
There's some more Sigma brain in the boxes over there if you want to take some. Probably will help the process.
Oh, all right. Hold on. Let me. Ooh.
Wait, maybe don't. It's
Yeah. Okay. I mean, how many did I take last time?
God, I think you ate 2 bottles.
Oh shit. Well, that explains some things at least. I had this vision of cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
I think we need to gather all of the podcasters and form a union that's all based off of this cryptocurrency. Do you remember that episode of Married with Children when the dream of the shoes that God gave him?
Yes. Then they made those shoes in real life and nobody called the manufacturer on them.
Yes. So that was kind of like my dream, except for about cryptocurrency.
And this had nothing to do with the fact that we were talking about Mu Dang doing a crypto rug pull right before you passed out.
I don't know what any of that means. There was no pulling of my rug going on. What are we talking about here, Patrick? I'm talking about cryptocurrency. I'm talking about Podcoin.
Podcoin?
The future of cryptocurrency, I think. Honestly, I don't really know that much about cryptocurrency, but...
That sounds exactly like everyone who's ever started a coin.
Well, I was thinking that Haktua chick, she did some coin and then she sold it all and made a shitload of money. Why can't we do that? We could probably pay off Gimcrack if we do that, is all I'm saying.
I don't know, dude. I mean, that was technically illegal.
Well, I'm going to have to look into this a little bit. But I'm telling you, I think it could work out. Maybe we'll just be really honest with it. We'll be as transparent as
Ooh, that one's getting cut. Like straight up. And you said you were out this entire time. The math ain't mathin'. Look. This is the kind of shady math that people who start crypto coins actually engage in. So I think maybe you're hitting the ground running on this.
I definitely hit the ground. I don't know if I was running, but I hit the ground in the alley.
I mean, that's fair. That's absolutely
Do these scratches
fair.
look okay to you? I think that one might be infected, but I'm not sure.
It is green and pulsating.
Yeah.
Hey, Gimcrack, should scratches be green and pulsating?
I'm not a doctor. I'm just going to pretend like you didn't say anything, and I'm going to ask you kindly to plug the hotline.
Oh, Gimcrack, we've got an official intro. Look at this.
Wait, have an intro for what?
For the show. Here, let me read these official. Thanks for tuning into the Found on Shelf podcast, brought to you by Gimcrack Video. Check out what's new at gimcrackvideo.com or give us a call at 252-564-8666. That's 252-564-8666.
Excellent ad read.
We're plugging your website, Gimcrack?
Yes, I have a nice website on, I think it's Fire Angel?
It looks
it's been
like
there for about 30 years, and I don't see a need to update it. But I do have the hotline. You know, landlines are all the rage these days, and I thought a land-based line for them to reach us would be really cool. We could accept live callers even.
Oh, yes.
How do you feel about live callers?
Sure. Well, live calls, dead calls.
Yeah, you stepped on my joke. That was the bit I was going for. How do you feel about dead calls? And you just pull it out from your ass. I don't know how any of you work in these conditions. So, did you even read the book on improvisation that I sent you?
No, but this Sigma brain helps me see the future. So I knew what you were going to say before you said it. And I apologize for that. Deeply, deeply apologize. So give us a call, 252-564-8666. 666, like the devil. Is that right, Gimcrack?
Yes, like the devil.
All right. So
what's even going on anymore, guys?
This
was a movie show.
I don't know. We're talking about Trump and crypto coin and hotlines. Aren't we going to talk about Turkish Star Wars?
No. It's a new week, so I think we get to pick a new movie.
Oh,
yes,
okay.
you get to pick a new movie. The same way you got a movie last week.
Ah, shit. Chance.
Yes. Put a coin in the fortune-telling jackalope and see what wonders she gives you.
The plus side about waking up in an alley is I found a bunch of change laying around, so I don't have to borrow anything from you this time. I can use my own coins.
Are they like pod coins?
No, these are actually coins that are physical.
No, those tokens in your hand are fungible as hell.
Anyway, I'm going to put them inside your machine.
Cries. I hear cries in the outer darkness. Wailing and gnashing of teeth. Costco membership price is increasing. The end is coming for us all.
Oh no, there's a movie that popped up from here. Let's see. It says Rats. Oh, cool. I think it's going to be that Rats documentary. You know, the one, the fucked up documentary about all the rats.
Deadly
Wait
Guys?
a minute. There's more here. It says I'm sorry. It says rat scratch fever.
Is that my diagnosis, or is that a movie?
I think that's the movie.
Oh shit! All right. All right. Well, I guess we are going to watch. I guess we're going to watch Rat Scratch Fever here.
Do you hear that?
Something's in here with us.
They landed on a planet man was never meant to explore, and brought back an army of monsters. Now, Los Angeles is one big rat's nest.
Rats, it's hundreds of them, they're huge!
When you went up in the ship, something happened up there. It's like you came back a different person.
I have changed. And I don't want to change back.
Soon, my children,
No explanation has been given where these creatures came from, but we have reports they are attacking and killing everyone on the streets.
No! What have I done?
Rat Scratch Fever. This film is not yet rated. They're afraid to look at it.
They're afraid to look at it.
Okay.
That is Rat Scratch Fever.
It's a lot to talk about.
It certainly is.
And we will talk about it.
Yeah, eventually.
Probably soon.
Yeah.
I hate to interrupt this absolutely riveting conversation, but it appears we have a caller on line 1.
Okay, well, what do you want us to do about that?
Answer the fucking phone like professionals.
Okay, let's see if we can figure out how to get that. Patrick, you know how to do that?
Yeah, I think you just push the button that's glowing.
Oh, okay.
Hi, my name's Helen. I co-host a watch party on Blue Sky called Fright Club, and we are looking for a movie, something in the horror genre. What do you guys have?
Well, we have a couple things tonight. We just watched Rat Scratch Fever. Have you heard of Rat Scratch Fever?
Rat Scratch Fever. That sounds perfect. We love schlock. Tell me about it.
It is definitely some schlock. That's for sure.
Awesome.
It's free on Tubi, which is where we find a lot of our movies. Gimcrack over there should be having a copy to rent. But yeah,
came out Tubi, everybody can watch Tubi.
The guy that runs this podcast has a video store, and I think Tubi might be starting to put him out of business. But we'll see.
You say that like my business model isn't just stealing people's souls. They're not doing that yet. Well, they might. Give it a few months. We'll see which direction capitalism leans. Maybe they'll go into soul stealing over shareholder growth. We'll find out.
Yes, soul stealing on demand, coming soon. Patrick, how would you describe Rat Scratch Fever? Where's your elevator pitch
for Rat Scratch Fever?
Rat Scratch Fever.
Do you want to? God, why do I want to say this? This movie is literally Ratatouille somewhat. What if evil cosmic rats from the planet Nibiru stowed away inside of a person and then ratatouilled them to create a zombie rat apocalypse and destroy the Earth, but on a shoestring budget of what is probably $2,000?
Yep, that's about right.
Yeah.
So, we recommend you go with that. Yeah. So, while we got you here on the phone, why don't you tell us a little bit about, you said it was Fright Club on Blue Sky, correct?
That's correct.
So what exactly do you do?
Well, every night at 10 Eastern US, we start a movie and everybody talks about it using the hashtag Fright Club. And we have been weirdly taking off since we got to Blue Sky. I don't understand how this happened because it's a smaller user base, but it's great. We're loving it. It's very chatty and friendly. Everybody is welcome. And it's just a lot of fun. You just talk about the movie. That's it.
So it's cool. Actually, I follow Fright Club on Blue Sky, and I started getting to like media watch parties on Twitter back when Twitter was still Twitter, through the last drive-in, which was fun. But I didn't realize that there are all these other kind of like media watch parties out there. It sounds like a really cool communal experience.
Oh, sure. There are tons of them. There's, Splatter Day and Sunday Scares. And hang on a sec. Let me take a look right now and see if something's up today. Yeah. Monday Action Movies, Cinnamon, Martin Monday, All Star Trek. A whole bunch. It seems like everybody is moving to Blue Sky now, which is great.
Yeah, were you guys around before Blue Sky?
Oh, yes. It's been about 12 years.
Wow.
And initially it was only a few days a week, and then we went to weekly. I mean, daily. Sure, I'm like...
Daily? That sounds like a lot of work to put this together.
So how do you go about picking all the different movies that you watch?
There's a group of about 25 people who all have input into it when they want, but not everyone is active all the time. So it's mostly I pick them. But I ask for suggestions. We take those. The last few days have been everybody else's picks. Actually, we just shout out and thank people when we start watching the movie.
In regards to the last few days, I saw y'all did the Guyver on Saturday. We actually covered the Guyver on the show before. What did you think of it?
I found myself wandering off a lot during it.
That's fair.
Literally, I physically got up and wandered around and started doing stuff around the house. So it was entertaining, and I liked the visuals, but it just didn't keep my attention somehow. I don't know why not.
The other one that you covered a couple days ago that I know I have seen before, but I did not join the watch party because I have seen it once, was Shark and Saw Women's Prison.
Oh, yeah. That was a great example of a film that I think would only really work as a watch party. It was so much fun to talk about it, but if I were watching it by myself, I probably would have turned it off.
Yes, the time I watched it involved several people and much alcohol.
That's perfect for that. One note about the watch parties, some people show up drunk and they follow the plot way better than the stoned ones.
That is interesting. That is
the other way around, if anything, but no, stoned people are really bad at this. They're not really with it.
Yeah, they like to rewind things and watch it over again and be like, wait, what was that? I was just thinking about something else. It happens.
That's amazing.
I had not watched Shark and Saw Women's Prison. We did watch Sharks of the Corn. That was something.
Oh, Lordy, I think we've seen that one too.
That one was weird because it becomes like a weird kind of like conservative scare movie halfway through. Because they're like, it's like sharks are a hoax or something. I don't know. It's wild. What's your favorite watch party you've had, or like favorite movie or like one of the ones that you look back on and think this one was really cool?
Oh, after all this time,
that's why I was as it was coming out of my mouth, I'm like, well, just a highlight, not the highlight.
I think that I probably enjoy it the most when we watch a genuinely good movie, which does happen occasionally.
Now that sounds like this show.
Yeah. Every once in a while they pop out. You're like, oh, wait.
12 Monkeys was great.
Okay, that's a good one.
So you guys do some mainstream as well as some like kind of unheard of. Do you go into them some of them just like completely blind, or do you kind of pre-screen
we're
it to
all
make sure?
temperature Fright Club, and the bulk of the time I think I haven't seen the movies. Usually somebody has.
Okay.
That's usually our problem. Is I will just randomly throw a movie at Patrick that I have never watched, and either like the title made me laugh, or I was like, oh God, he's gonna hate this movie. It's usually a combination of both.
That's exactly how I do the Fright Club schedule.
I have a great interest in love of Christmas with Cookie, and that has just spawned into quite a few things. Now we're like friends with the director and all that stuff, but. That was one of those movies that I found, and I was just like, I was looking for a random Christmas movie. I was like, and it's it's not good, but it's entertaining. So I mean, he did it for like $1,000, so it wasn't. I mean, it's
Listen, if anyone can relate to the love of a bad movie with heart, you are talking to that person.
Yes, that's kind of our philosophy. I mean, we'll trash the movie, but we will. We usually don't trash the people behind it because if there's art behind it. Some people are just out there to, just shoveling crap, and you're just like, really, this again? But
then you watch a thing like Rat Scratch Fever, and like it has such wild swings of being bad, and then such weird screens of being like almost genius, and it rides this insane line the whole way through. And we find that a lot when we find the movie that's like clearly like lacking in some way, but like what it touches on is like genius in a completely unexpected way. It's like Turkish Star Wars, which we just watched as well.
This is very relatable.
I've got a suggestion for you guys. On April Fool's Day, you should watch like some kind of a Lifetime or Hallmark drama or something. Will Ferrell was actually in one that was like super serious Allegedly, I haven't actually watched it, but
that was the
I think
time.
that'd be
That was
funny.
there was a very brief period where Lifetime was trying to make self-aware parody films. So they had Will Ferrell and Kristen Wiig were in that like a Deadly Adoption or something.
Yes, that's what it was.
And that same year,
It's Orphan, but like Lifetime version.
and that same year they had James Franco directed a remake of like Mother May I Date Danger or something with
Sleep with Danger.
Yes, Mother May I Sleep with Danger, but with vampires.
That sounds very Fright Club also.
Okay, so Helen, is there anything you want to say about Fight Club or anything you want to plug while we've got you?
To carry on to the future and beyond.
Uh-oh. Try to repeat that again. I think your phone cut out. I hear scary ghost noises. I think Helen's been abducted.
And we're back to the Found on Shelf podcast, the only movie podcast that has started the biblical apocalypse at least twice. Each week we do watch a new cursed movie and talk about it. Normally, we have control over the movies we pick, but this year, since we have lost control of our entire show to the demonic evil entity Gimcrack, we must consult his evil cursed jackalope to be assigned a random movie, and then we broadcast our torture live from his cursed video store. Is that the premise of the show? Did I get it in one?
Yeah, I think that's the premise of the show. I don't know. I mean, we try to find movies that most people haven't heard of, but you know, now we're kind of leaving it up to fate. So fate has chosen Rat Scratch Fever.
Yeah, Rat Scratch Fever.
Yes. Have you heard of Rat Scratch Fever, the movie?
Rat Scratch Fever. Have you heard about this? Have you seen about this? What's the deal with Rat Scratch Fever? Seriously, though, what is the fucking deal with Rat Scratch Fever? Dustin, where in the goddamn hell did this movie come from? Do you have any clue?
Yeah, this movie came from director-writer Jeff Leroy.
Leroy. Now, is he have kind of like the energy of a Leroy Jenkins type? Is he charging in dick first, camera akimbo, trying to capture as much chaos as humanly fucking possible? Or is that just like the vibe of this one movie?
He is known as the Michael Bay of micro budget, the Spielberg of schlock, and the dollar store James Cameron. So
I would debate all of those titles, but I will say,
I think he gave himself those titles.
If you're looking for a lunatic to put something on screen, again, much like Nick Spheres said about the Senritsu Kaiken films, with absolutely no regard to his own ability to achieve his artistic vision, look no fucking further than Rat Scratch Fever. This movie is art.
If ambitions were dollars, this would be $1 billion movie because it has a lot of ambition.
Yeah, and you know, it has that whole vibe that ambition does have of being like the devil's first sin. It is a statement. This movie is a statement. When do we want to talk about the porn set?
Oh, you mean well, if you did want to check out some of this gentleman's other films, he does have a series called Creepies about genetically engineered killer spiders.
As human does. It's not to be confused with Spider Baby, which has nothing to do with spiders or babies, but does have Lon Chaney Jr.
Yes, this is, it's about, I have not watched it yet, but all I know is it's genetically engineered killer spiders. And he did what I refer to as the In a Women's Prison trilogy of films, where he did...
So like Sharkensaw Women's Prison Massacre? We just talked about that with Fright Club.
No, he did Werewolf in a Women's Prison, and then he did Frankenstein in a Women's Prison, and he did Dracula in a women's prison.
Did he do The Mummy in a women's prison?
Not yet, but one can only hope.
Non-committal.
Man's pushing out as much movies as he can. He did a Dahmer versus Gacy. He did
in a women's prison.
He did a movie called Charlie's Death Wish, starring Ron Jeremy.
Ooh, that's loaded.
Yeah.
Okay.
So was he. We can cut
That would explain a lot about this movie. Okay.
Yeah, it's a very interesting movie.
Yeah, interesting. So the movie opens on Planet X. That's right, fucking Nibiru, from your favorite conspiracy theories, from the Ancient Aliens TV show, from the ufologist community. Planet fucking X is in orbit around Mars, and we zoom in like it's the beginning of a Doctor Who episode, only it's Dr. Hell. It's wild.
Now, what is your favorite representation of Nibiru in pop culture?
So, Film Cal, the YouTube creator who made Charlie the Unicorn, he does a series of videos making fun of Hollow Live, which is with called Vulu Lives, where he plays a face-stealing eldritch worm from beyond the abyss who has a talk show, and it's set up with a VTuber rig, and he interviews people. And his co-host, the Ed McMahon type figure in this, is the planet Nibiru, whom he calls the one true moon. And that's my favorite depiction.
Wow.
Yeah. Were you thinking you'd get a sane answer from me?
No, I had no clue where that would go. I just threw it out there. I mean, I like Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated's version, but
that's also an excellent choice. It's less esoteric, but it's Scooby-Doo. I can't fault anyone for Scooby-Doo. Mysteries
Incorporated it's a damn fine entry to the Scooby-Doo mythology.
Damn fine.
Why don't we talk about Scooby-Doo? Well, we got to talk about rat scratch fever.
We got to talk about this as the second movie that we've picked in 6 months that has a rat entering a woman's vagina. And I'm very concerned about the selection process on this show.
Well, it was on the wheel of rodents in orifices, so it just happened to come up.
I feel like that's not America's favorite game show. Welcome to the Wheel of Rodents in Orifices with your host, Pat Sajak. Pat, what orifice did you stick the rat in today? Is it in your ass? It's in your ass again, isn't it, Pat? We told you about this before you come on the show. You have to de-rat your ass. You can't keep doing this. We hear the squeaks in your lapel mic. It fucks up the audio for the show, Pat. Can you tell I've only had 5 hours of sleep?
No, yeah, like you said, we're on Nibiru. It's like this weird kind of lava planet, but this movie is majority practical effects. There's some CG when it comes to like explosions and stuff, but for the most part, it's practical effects.
I am coming out hard against this movie because I'm having fun doing that, but to state up front at the very top of this episode, which is probably about 30 minutes in by my reckoning.
Yeah, something like
that. What I'd like to say is this movie fucking rocks. Like this, like when I said it's art, I mean it. It is art because like everything's practical, except for the stuff that isn't. And it's this insane hodgepodge of movie styles thrown together. It's a movie that no normal right-thinking human being would make, and that's why I love it.
Yeah, it was definitely a good find, I think. So we're off to a good start. Turkish Star Wars was fun. Rat Scratch Fever was fun. It's just this is a good year for movies.
As long as we keep saying in space.
Yes, nice tits, bitch. In space. So lava planet or whatever fiery planet stuff blowing up everywhere, giant rats running around. People start, you got like I think 4 astronauts and they all start shooting everybody.
So we open in media res on planet Nibiru, orbiting Mars. The assumption is at some point we send a scientific expedition to the planet when Planet X came into rotation and in sight. And so we open on that scientific exploration group fleeing the giant sentient rats that live on Planet X, blasting them with their lasers as they are felled under the massive swarm of rodentia.
Yes, and they all seem to die except for the one lady, Sonia, I believe her name was.
And she escapes.
She escapes in the little spaceship, but there's a giant rat that comes in and it closes right there and that rat dies. And she's like, oh, I survived. But there's a few rats that survived inside the body of the giant rat, and she tries to stop them. And one of them climbs up her leggings, and yeah, enters her.
I like how you like really struggled with that. I mean, I'm glad that you're the one who went for it, because I don't think I could have gotten through with it. It's a choice. I think it's supposed to be a parody of Alien 3, right?
I would assume, but I'm not sure. I don't know what their idea was with it, but they went with it. I guess they figured the rat had to get inside her body somehow. I mean, there's other ways. It could have just eaten her stomach and climbed in or something. But, you know, if you're going to do it, go for it.
Well, they did.
Yes, and they did.
Then we cut back to the black site military contractor who is actually the one behind this scientific expedition being run by Dr. Steele. Dustin, do you want to take a swing on Dr. Steele?
Dr. Steele is amazing. Dr. Steele wears like a hoodie and sunglasses, and then he wears a hat on top of his hoodie.
Average Predator.
Yeah. And he has metallic hands, and he has lens flare like all over him. he is great. I don't know if you'll recognize him though.
I did recognize him kind of, in that I should know what he's in. And I did Google him on IMDb.
Yeah.
But I did that, I was going to say long enough ago, but we do have K-Fob. So I don't remember what I saw.
You did that in that brief time that we watched the movie in between the trailer now, right?
Certainly it wasn't a full month ago.
No.
Definitely not a full month ago.
No, not at all. But yes, did you ever watch Singled Out? Chris Hardwick, Carmen Electra, the dating show on MTV, like way back in the day?
No, I have not seen that one.
Good stuff. So yeah, it was like a dating show where like, you know, it was just a stupid dating show. But anyway, he was a regular on that show. He would like just show up and be like extremely overtly gay guy, and that was his kind of role on the show. But he's been in a bunch. He's been in like 50 movies or something. But he's been in a lot of stuff. Just passed away last July, sadly, but good guy.
Goodness.
Yeah, he was definitely a highlight of this movie. And he also served as president of the Southern California Motion Picture Council, which is a charitable organization focused on promoting and awarding films. So he did a lot of good stuff. Dr. Steele was an amazing role. And it was a bizarre role.
Yeah, that's really underselling it.
Yeah, and I mean he comes off like the bad guy, but then he's really not, and like, yeah, we could just get into all that.
Like, he's a Dr. Claw type, but he looks like the Phantom of the Opera.
Yeah.
I'll get you next time, judge it.
So yeah, when we get this, we get these awesome scenes, and they do these scenes quite a lot in this movie, where you have these like miniature army vehicles like driving around, but they're totally just like RC cars, but then they superimpose like the actual like actors in the windows on a couple of the shots. It is fantastic. They could have gone with just some CG trucks driving around, and I'm so glad they didn't, because it's just these little remote control cars driving around. It's great. They use a lot of miniatures in this movie, and RC cars and everything. It had to have been a blast to film.
Yeah, the miniatures look really fun.
Yeah.
So our main heroine, she's flying back in, and her boyfriend has infiltrated the military black site because he's special forces or ex-special forces. And she calls him. She calls him on his cell phone. She calls him on his cell phone from space. The reception is insane, to the point where they're like, how are you even making this call right now? And I'll tell you how. With Mint Mobile. Please go to Mint Mobile and type in shelf.
They'll just laugh at you. But type it in anyway, see what happens.
If we're going to do a plug, we do need to get paid. I don't think we need to give it up for Ryan Reynolds.
All right. We doing more Sigma Brain here? Let's go.
All right. Do we want to cut to the commercial?
Sure. Are we gonna do? We're gonna do the commercial. Let's.
It's a little lengthy. Do you want to be Cesar or Zexar?
I'll be Cesar. Wait, no, Zigzar. Who's on first?
Okay, so Cesar is the straight man of the bit.
Okay, I'll be Cesar then.
Meanwhile, on planet Nibiru.
I've done it. I've finally done it, Cesar. I've created the perfect mattress.
Don't be ridiculous, Cesar. The perfect mattress already exists at Mattress Farm.
Impossible.
No, it's true. Mattress Farm is the #1 source of a good night's sleep. Each Mattress Farm mattress is raised free range and with no GMOs. Then, after breeding, they are all slaughtered humanely and stuffed into a box. Your Mattress Farm mattress is then shipped straight to your door. Just remove the treated and preserved carcass from the box and allow it to decompress for 72 hours.
That's horrifying.
What's horrifying is trying to sleep on anything else but a Mattress Farm mattress.
Well, what scientific project have you been developing?
Oh, I've been experimenting on rats to give them super intelligence.
What? Why?
I mean, why?
Duh. To make them better slaves.
Oh, I guess that makes sense.
Also, I gave them superpowers and made them giant.
For the love of God, why?
Isn't it obvious? So they can utilize their strength for more productive purposes, like construction or blasting things with lasers.
Zigzar, I don't know what you're thinking. This could go so wrong so quickly. We have to try and contain this before it becomes a problem.
Also, I turned them into some kind of unstoppable contagious disease.
What have you done? They're going to overrun our entire society and destroy us all. How can you sleep at night?
Oh, on an all-natural mattress from Mattress Farm. I sleep. Oh, God! Jesus Christ! The rats have broken free!
I have some notes, some creative direction, but I think overall that's a good take.
Yeah, maybe you should go back to the ad, Gimcrack, if you think it's so easy.
I've done 30 of them, and I think that you can go back and see. They're not all bad.
All right, fine. Let's get back to the damn movie. Okay, so all right, so miniature cars driving around. Sonia, her ship flies to the base at full speed and blows up the whole base, and Dr. Steele and a couple people end up like making their way out. All right, that's where we're at, I think.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. So there is this part where she finds a tank with two guys in it, and she kind of like passes out in the tank and has flashbacks to the planet. So we get to see a little bit more stuff that happened in the planet. Now I've got something I need to tell you about two of the astronauts. Actually, one of the astronauts, but we'll talk about both of them.
Are they not real asses?
No, they are real astronauts.
Okay.
Anyway, two of them, astronaut Reggie and Debbie, were played by Matt and Jennifer Emery, who are married in real life.
That's cool.
Here's where it gets interesting. Jennifer Emery, her grandfather was a gentleman by the name of Angelo Rosito, who, well, he was one of the dwarfs in Todd Browning's Freaks that was married to the armless lady.
Oh, shit.
That was her grandfather. And he was also a munchkin on The Wizard of Oz, because I think every short person when that movie came out was a munchkin. And Angelino Rosito, the dwarf from Freaks, was a stunt double for Shirley Temple.
Well, damn.
So that's the granddaughter of the stunt double for Shirley Temple. I didn't even think about Shirley Temple having a stunt double. But
I didn't think they were stunts, but I haven't actually watched any of those movies, so I don't know.
Oh man, that one movie where she like jumps out of the plane. Oh, it's nuts. So back to our movie here. Does like rips and claws at everybody, and like she's basically turning into a monster creature lady. The rats are controlling her, but she still has a little bit of control over herself. And
yeah, she's getting ratatouille'd.
Yes, she's getting ratatouille'd from her vagina.
So let's talk about this. Is this a safe space? Can we talk about this? So the thing about the rats is they've entered her. Mm-hmm. Good God. They're now inside her body, so they're like chewing their way up, right? They're like she's like the rat's like in her abdomen right now.
Mm-hmm.
Not in a way that shows externally, except she has some sort of like viscous secretions coming off of her midriff.
Yes, some like slimy things coming out. I think maybe one of the rats took a wrong turn climbing up through her abdomen. I think they were going for her head, and whoops.
No, and possibly she's still alive.
We've all watched Inner Space. We know sometimes it gets confusing in there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So in the very confusing space, she's still alive. Whatever the rats are doing, they are literally hollowing her out. Later she says, I feel like I'm empty inside. And they're controlling her like Ratatouille from the top of her head. But also she's still moving around like a vessel, and there's part of her brain that's left that's being controlled. It's all very confusing. But also these rats do seem to like reproduce off of themselves by budding, like the Martians in the War of the Worlds.
I don't know. I guess. Ratatouille was very. It's very interesting, but yeah.
Like we're concerned about the one rat, but there is no longer only one rat. There are mini rats that come from the one rat, and they increase in size exponentially.
And they're like gremlins; they just kind of multiply all kinds of.
Unfortunately, there's no vegetable rat.
There's no sexy. Well, she's kind of cute, but there's no sexy lady
rat. Yeah.
No. But yeah, so that's kind of what is really going on. She's like the rat king, queen, whatever. And yeah, just goes out. And then it's funny because there's other people like looking for her everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And you get this one guy's great line.
There's nothing out here but bear shit and bullshit.
That's right. Bear shit and bullshit. That's the only thing they have out there.
Yes, the two Bs.
Yes. So yeah, she breaks into that dude's tank, bites him, blood's everywhere. She steals like the missile tank thingy and starts shooting all the other stuff. Then they end up like shooting her. And I think at one point she like shoots herself in the head.
It doesn't kill her.
No, it doesn't kill her. And then she just wears a hat for the rest of the movie because it's, it happens. So her ex-boyfriend picks her up and drives her around to LA to take her to Sonia's place, which is supposed to be a bar that he made for her.
Yeah, because her name's Sonia.
Yes, but it just looks. It's just some shitty abandoned apartment.
Apartment.
Well, you think some other things might have been filmed there?
It's just a few. Just one or two things that might deviate from. Well, it's certainly a thing that could happen in an apartment. That's certainly true.
Maybe he filmed that Ron Jeremy movie in there. Is that what you're trying to say?
I mean, I hope Ron Jeremy isn't in your apartment.
Oh God. Yeah, there's there's a lot of just random stuff that happens at this point. Like the boyfriend wants to go confront Dr. Steele because he's like, why is he trying to kill my ex-girlfriend? And she stays there at Sonia's place, and there's some dude that was like sleeping there.
Yeah.
And then like takes her hat off, and then her head just kind of splits open and a rat pops out.
Yes.
Like I say, yes, like that's what happens. Just
you remember Rakakuni?
So yeah, it's he's a bloody mess in the corner. There's all I don't even know if we can like go like shot by shot or scene by scene.
You absolutely cannot. No.
It's just there's so much that happens. But it's really good. You guys should really watch this movie. I don't think we're doing it justice.
We're certainly not. The movie's unhinged, and it changes what movie it is every like 15 minutes or so. So it opens with Planet X, then she's running in the desert from military groups, and then later she's stealth killing people across the city, and then it ends in the rats taking over everything and burning the city down. So like there's and also taking over the world. Very like, have you seen Little Shop of Horrors?
Yes.
You know that the theatrical ending is not the original ending, right?
Right.
Right. The original ending has the ending from the play in which the plants eat everything, right?
Yeah.
So the song is Don't Feed the Plants, and they put the original ending back in the Blu-ray release that came out several years ago. I recommend watching it because it's great, right? Especially because Don't Feed the Plants is like one of the best bangers in the show. I described show tunes as bangers. I've definitely made a statement about my sexuality in that. Next week, I'm going to introduce us as the queerest podcast to still have two straight dudes energy. So the problem. Is there a problem? There's a problem.
What's the problem?
I don't know. I've lost track of everything I was saying. All right.
You're talking about how it was different types of movies.
All right. So like this movie very much ends in a Don't Feed the Plants type ending where the rats take over everything.
Yeah. And there's also a weird scene where like the boyfriend knows that something's wrong with her, but he just like cuts his wrist and feeds her anyway. It is very much, I didn't think about the Little Shop of Horrors connection, but there was a few in there.
Must be blood.
So yeah, they do a really good shot of instead of trying to show rats crawling all over the place in LA, they do shadows.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll put like shadows on the Griffin Observatory, and they'll have them like on buildings where you just see like big shadows of rats just running around everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And then they'd cut to like a news report where it was like all of LA is burning, and then you realize you're watching a movie and not television like a month ago.
And to that end, quick segue. In the description below, there will be a link to some sort of charity to donate to rebuilding LA after the fires, because we are fucking socially conscious on the show. And if we're going to talk about LA burning while LA is actually burning, there will be a way to help the people who suffered some loss. But on our stupid dumbass podcast, we should talk more about Dr. Steele.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah, he takes his mask off, which is just a human face, and he's got this weird disfigured thing going on underneath.
Very Swan.
He's the best in this movie. I love Dr. Steele. And I didn't cut out any of his lines. I really should have, because he's got some.
Did you cut out anything for this?
Get a hold of yourself! Your baby's dead!
Get a hold of yourself. Your baby's dead.
Okay, let's talk about more of these scenes, because we've been at this for about an hour, and we should really hone in on some of this. The idea of the movie, we said the crux of it, but towards the end, during the Don't Feed the Plants type ending with the rats taking over the entire city, they also show the rats, wreaking havoc and killing individual people, and they do show the rats just dragging a baby off camera. It's so good. It's so bleak. What the fuck? And then later find the mom. The mom is hysterical, and our only surviving hero, Sonya's boyfriend, who helped feed her blood and now perpetuate the takeover of the planet, but then realizes the plants are the rats are taking over everything. He has to fight them. He says that line. Please play it again.
Get a hold of yourself! Your baby's dead!
Get a hold of yourself. Your baby's dead. Like, just get over it.
That's so good.
Your baby just got dragged off by rats 5 minutes ago. Get over it. Yeah, our hero, I say in quotes, is a very weird guy. And this was the other scene I had to get just because it was such an off-the-wall line, and I was... hold on.
I never liked you. What do you call a 4-foot Mexican hooker? Consuelo. How do you like me now? Even less.
This is the top shelf writing you can expect from this movie.
Oh, I love the guy's delivery. How do you like me now? Even less. But there's a lot of just gnarly rats, like ripping people in half and eating people and breaking through walls. And it's just madness. And Dr. Steele's showing up with a tank, and then the rats end up jumping in there and killing him. Oh man, it's just so much stuff happening.
So Sonya, she flew back from space harboring rats, and the Dr. Steele and his science outfit were trying to find her and terminate her and any exposure anyone had to the rats. Because as we find out later, the rats act like some sort of contagious disease in which they incubate inside people, but they spread airborne and incubate inside people and then burst out. Again, this movie is somewhat of a parody of Aliens, somewhat not. I lost my train of thought again.
We got to find that thing.
I was going. I like the words are coming out of my mouth. There's track being laid in front of me as I'm talking, but then I went one direction and then there's no track anymore. The train is flying off the rails as if Donald Trump fired the head of railroads, which I'm sure is a thing that exists and will happen within a week of this episode being recorded.
You should have gone off. Should have went in Jonas Brothers instead of One Direction.
That one, there's a bit of a walk there.
Bring it right to a screeching halt. Right to a screeching halt. The way I like it.
King of segues.
Yeah. Hey, but real quick before we get to the end of this movie, how much Podcoin can I put you down for? I think I just made it. I don't know. I was on this website and I was like, "Would you like to create cryptocurrency?" And I said yes. And it asked for mother's maiden name, social security number. I mean, it all seems legit. So how much can I put you down for?
All the information is your information so far?
Yeah. Yep. I got my social, my middle name, birthday, date of birth. Birthday, date of birth. That's the same thing. Why is it listed twice?
Sure. Put me down for $1,000. $1,000 worth of coin. Yeah. I'm good for it.
Okay.
We'll settle up later.
Okay. All right. And then I will put in my $5,000.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
But also your social security number, right?
No, yeah, that's already in there. Yeah.
What about your checking account?
Oh, yep, there. Hold on. Let's see. Checking account. And savings account. Got that number in there. All right. I think. Oh, wait. It needs to take a photo of me as well from 360. Okay. So now I've got my photograph in there. I've got my social security number, my address, mother's maiden name, mother's date of birth. Oh, why does it need the name of my first cat? First pet first. Okay. All right. Well, yeah, I think it'll be all set and good to go. So Podcoin coming at you. Buy it now.
I'm sure that's real.
I don't see any problem with that. So what this movie just ends. It's a losing ending. Did I just dream that? Did that happen?
So after her boyfriend takes her back to Sonia's place, Sonia is like killing across the city. She kills his best friend. She's wearing this hat to conceal the fact that there's a rat in her head. Mm-hmm. And her friend's like, you should try to take the head off. And she's like, I don't want to. There's something growing under here. And he's like, oh yeah, cancer. That's fucked. And then she eats him. And then, she solicits sex from people, but instead of having sex, she murders them. So because of that, her boyfriend tracks down Dr. Steele to try and threaten him at gunpoint to fix her. And he's like, well, there's no fixing her. She has to get killed. You should have done it already.
Yeah.
She finally explodes and the rats all pop out of her and the apocalypse is here. And at that point, Dr. Steele comes through with a tank and tries to, do what he can to stop the onslaught of the overwhelming sea of rats that have set the city to siege. That's really great because Dr. Steele is hilarious. To paint the picture of what this looks like, there are real rats, there are Muppet rats, there are gianter Muppet rats, and there are shadows. And they're using all of those things all at the same time to try to create the idea of a swarm. It doesn't work in the sense that you think there's an endless supply of rats, but it does work in the sense that that this person's making a movie about an endless supply of rats. Also, I have a deck on Magic that just does the same thing of generating rat after rat after rat. It's great. It wins almost every time.
See, there you go. Rat scratch fever.
Rat scratch fever.
Now, I don't know if you watched all of the credits. Probably not, because there wasn't much to watch.
I didn't watch any of the credits.
Okay,
I watched the movie twice, and I watched no credits.
Towards the end of the credits, there's a special thanks section, and there is one person mentioned in these special thanks that you will never guess, but we have mentioned him on the show before.
Well, that rules out Stanley Tucci.
Yes, you're correct. It's not Stanley Tucci. Let's see if I can give you a little hint here. All right, let's see if you can get this hint.
It's a poem, a song of death.
The actor or the writer-director?
The writer-director. There was a special thanks to Jay Wolfell in this movie. I don't know why. I don't know what Jay had to do with it, but yeah, there you go.
It's a poem, a song of death.
Although he has taught some film classes and stuff like that, so maybe he was their student. I'm not sure, but yeah, that was Rat Scratch Fever.
Yeah, it's a great movie because it does do this thing where everyone's kind of like plastered onto like these like composite sets of part Photoshop, part miniatures. It's hilarious and it's great.
It's fantastic.
And it works.
And it's streaming for free on Tubi, so go for it.
Go out there and check it out.
Yeah, you just get hour and a half and some commercials and off you go. Good to go.
An hour and a half of commercials?
Well, an hour and a half and then commercials. So probably an hour and 45, hour, 50 minutes.
So what's your favorite part of this movie?
The rats.
Well, yeah, but like the visual effects of the rats, or was there like a rat sequence you liked?
My favorite part was the little miniatures driving around, the little RC cars.
Mm-hmm.
I friggin' love that. I love the little people, the little video of the people in the RC cars. You didn't need to do that because it's so little you can barely see it, but he did it anyway, and I fucking love him for it.
I personally also like all the Planet X scenes because it is just like a Doctor Who episode that's bad. Because you find out that the people who used to live on Nibiru experimented on rats, I think, as a form of slavery.
Yeah.
Look, they have like robots that have rats do all of their bidding, and somehow they turned them into evil, superpowered rats that spread like a disease and overtook their entire society overnight. Which, sure, but like wild stuff.
In a way, I brought you here to offer you a job. You think you can do it better, so here's your chance.
So you got to change 3 things.
I really don't think that there's anything that I would change in this movie. Well, you know what? Okay. Probably wouldn't have the rat enter the woman's body through the vagina. That's a little bit much.
How dare you?
So that's one change. The second change would be more Dr. Steele. We had a lot of Dr. Steele, but we didn't have enough of Dr. Steele. I need Dr. Steele versus Tobacco Man.
That would be fantastic.
Like zombies, yeah.
Oh man,
Dr. Steele versus Tobacco Man. And then the third thing, I don't know if there is a third thing. This movie is really, it's, for what it is, it works so well.
Yeah, and normally I like to, with some of these movies that have really high ambitions and really low budgets, I'm always like, stay your course. Don't write things. Don't try to do things that you're not going to be able to afford in your budget. And this friggin' dude is just, it's just like, I don't care. I'm going to make it happen, and just does it. So I really appreciate this guy. I think I'm going to have to watch all the in a women's prison movies now.
Yeah, that's the only reason.
For research purposes.
To appreciate the art.
Yeah.
About the art. Where did this movie come from?
I don't know. I think
my question is there anything about this movie you'd like to talk about in the making of?
No, I've talked about everything.
You did not talk about the porn studio. We have to talk about the fucking porn studio.
What porn studio are you talking about? In the bar? What are you talking about?
Where they filmed this movie.
Okay.
This movie was filmed on a porn set.
How do you know that? Was that somewhere that I didn't see?
Yes. Hold on. How do I know? If you're weak to do research, we have been sitting on this episode for an entire month, and I'm the one who came to the table with this.
On the alien planet. Well, that was I did see that on IMDb, but I could not verify it with anything, so I'm not sure. It said that the scenes on the alien planet were shot in a porn studio, but I guess it was. It seems weird that the alien planet was the porn studio and not the crappy apartment.
I choose to think that more sets were filmed in the porn studio, and they just don't have them all listed here.
That's a very good possibility. This guy's directed a few things that were adjacent. So, Like he just did Dracula's sorority sisters.
Well, actually, he also let's hold on. Dracula's sorority sisters just wrapped. He also has done Giantess Attack versus Mecha Fembot.
Right. That was a sequel to Giantess Attack, which is a movie he did in 2017.
Poor Man's Bikini Beach.
Which is apparently a TV series. So yeah, he's got a few. Eyes of the Werewolf. Looks interesting. Yeah, I don't know. It's I'm curious as to which. Well, I'm not. I'm not that curious about it. About where what was filmed and where it was filmed and any of that stuff. It was filmed. It happened.
That's so unlike you. You usually come with 5,000 facts that no one cares about. And
Jesus Christ, was Shirley Temple's stunt double not enough for you, Patrick?
You know, Dustin, I think you should know by now. I just really can't be satisfied.
Well, you should take some Sigma Brain.
Last week's sponsor. He's still crawling around in events, by the way.
Yeah, you know, keep him around every once in a while. Check on him. He's gonna go out and buy some Podcoin for me, I think. Well, shit. All right. Do we do it all? Do we talk about everything we need to talk about?
I think so.
All right. Well, I guess that wraps it up for this episode. You can call us now, apparently. 252-564-8666. And if we don't answer it, or if Gamecrack doesn't answer it, then just leave a message and maybe we'll play your message on the podcast.
Remember, if we don't answer it, it means we don't care.
The customer is never right in Gamecrack's world. So please buy some Podcoin today. Can I end with that? The Podcoin's up to I've doubled my money. I'm up to $10,000 right now.
Nice.
Hot shit. I'm just going to let it go a little bit further. And we could, you know what? We could probably finally pay off Gamecrack and take our show back.
I'm sure you can. Good luck with that.
Okay. We are on Blue Sky as found on Shelf Pod, all one word. We also can be contacted by email in that way. We used to be on more social media sites, but they've all fallen to the Nazis. So right now, Blue Sky or bust, I think, is our only.
Yeah. It's kind of looking at it. So yeah, listen, vote, review, resist, renew, recycle, have your pets spayed and neutered, lather, rinse, repeat.
And remember to de-rat your anus before going on air. Good night, everybody.
You didn't teach them how to do cunnilingus, did you?
I'm sorry, Gamecrack, that was off script. Hold on, let me go back here.
I think you're getting a little wild with it here.